Good morning, dear students. Today we are starting the topic fertilization and also we'll complete the implantation. So during coitus, semen is released by the penis into the vagina. So how many sperms are released? Number of sperms released in one ejaculation is 200 to 300 millions. So there are some conditions for fertility. Okay. So for fertility, what they require? For fertility, we require percentage of sperms with normal shape and size is 60%. Okay. Percentage of sperms with normal shape and size and also with a vigorous motility. So that is 40%. That means in the 60%, 40% of sperm should have motility, perfect shape and size. Okay. Then what is the site of fertilization? Site of fertilization is ampulla. So you know that ampulla is present in the fallopian tube. Okay. Then let us see the passage of sperm to the site of fertilization. How the sperm is moving from vagina to the site of fertilization. Let us see where the semen is released first. The semen is released into the vagina. From vagina, the sperm reaches to the cervix. From cervix, it enters into the uterus. From uterus, it enters into the isthmus. From isthmus to it reaches to the ampulla. So this is one of the important question for the NEET. They will be asking you the question. Write down path of sperm. Right. Next one, passage of secondary oocyte. Where they are moving, passage of secondary oocyte to the site of fertilization. Here also passage of some sperm to the site of fertilization. Okay. So ovaries releases the ova. Okay. So from ovary, the secondary oocyte enters into the coelom. From coelom, the ova is collected by the fimbriae of fallopian tube. From fimbriae, it enters into the infundibulum. From infundibulum, it enters into the ampulla. Right? Then when does fertilization occurs? This is very important point. Fertilization occurs only when sperm and ovum reach fallopian tube or ampulla. Okay, fallopian tube or ampulla simultaneously. So that is the reason why every coitus or every coitus will not cause the fertilization, because you know that ova releases only on the 14th day of the menstrual cycle and the ova can survive only for 24 hours. Okay, so every coitus does not lead to the fertilization, right? So chemicals secreted chemicals secreted by ovum is called as fertilizing. Then sperm also secrete one chemical. So chemicals secreted by sperm is anti-fertilizing. Anti-fertilizing. Then how does the sperm penetrates the ovum? Sperm penetrates the ovum with the help of sperm lysins. Okay, sperm penetrates the ovum with the help of sperm lysins. What are sperm lysins means? Nothing but you have to remember that sperm lysins are the chemicals released by, or you can use the word enzymes released by acrosin. Enzymes released by acrosome. Sorry, not acrosin. It is released by acrosome. Enzymes released by acrosome is called as sperm lysine. Okay. Then the acrosome also undergoes reactions. So what is acrosomal reaction? Or the acrosome is undergoing reaction. So acrosomal reaction means dissolution. That means dissolving. Dissolution of acrosome occurs to release enzymes. So, what is meant by acrosomal reactions? Acrosomal reactions means nothing but it is the dissolution of the acrosome. When the dissolution of acrosome occurs, they release the enzymes. Okay. Next one, there is one more important word that is called as capacitation of sperm. This is also very important term. What is capacitation means? Physiological changes. Physiological changes in sperm. Where these physiological changes of sperm occurring? It is occurring in the female reproductive tract only. Why the physiological changes occurs means the physiological changes increases the ability of sperm. They are increasing the ability of sperm. So the physiological changes in sperm is called as capacitation. Capacitation increases the ability of sperm to fertilize ovum. Ability of sperm to fertilize ovum. Right. So where does it occurs? Capacitation occurs in female reproductive tract. All these are questions only. They'll be asking you capacitation also. Right? So what is meant by capacitation means it involves removal of cholesterol. Removal of cholesterol from the plasma membrane of sperm. Okay, and helps in the entry of calcium ions. So that is called as capacitation. Now let us go for the enzymes and what these enzymes are helping where. So here the enzymes are released by the acrosome, and here these enzymes to helps to penetrate which part of the ovum. Let us see each and every enzyme. The first one is hyaluronidase. Hyaluronidase. What is the function of hyaluronidase? Means hyaluronidase dissolves hyaluronic acid. I'll show you in the diagram. Hyaluronic acid. Second one, corona penetrating enzyme. So corona penetrating enzyme. What is the function of this corona penetrating enzyme? Means this corona penetrating enzyme helps in penetration of this sperm. Helps in penetration in the corona radiata. Helps to penetrate corona radiata. That means it dissolves the corona radiata. Third one is acrocin. Acrocin is also called as zona lysine. Okay, it helps in penetration of zona pellucida. Zona pellucida. Right, you can see the diagram here. So you can see in between the I'm marking with this color. This is the hyaluronic acid. The hyaluronic acid is present in between these cells. Okay, so the hyaluronic acid is dissolved by hyaluronidase. Is dissolved by hyaluronidase, and these are the corona cells. You can see these are the corona cells. These are the corona radiata. Okay, and this one is zona pellucida. This one is the, so you can see here, this is the zona pellucida, and this one is the perivitelline space. So this one is the perivitelline space. So how many sperms enters into perivitelline space is the question. Okay, number of sperms, number of sperms that enters into perivitelline space equal to 1. Only one sperm is entering into the perivitelline space of the ovum. So when one enters into this perivitelline space, we call that type of fertilization is called as monospermy. So type of fertilization is called as monospermy. Then why the polyspermy is prevented? So how the polyspermy is prevented? Polyspermy is prevented by cortical reaction. Okay, cortical reaction means it causes the hardening of vitelline membrane. So when the hardening of vitelline membrane occurs, the remaining sperms cannot enter into the perivitelline space. Okay, that is the cortical reaction. Second one, zona reactions. Okay, zona reactions means changes in zona pellucida. So this zona pellucida undergoes changes and blocks the remaining sperms. Blocks the remaining sperms entering into the perivitelline space. Okay. So here the fusion of male and female gamete. Fusion of male and female gamete. The fusion of male and female gamete is called as fertilization or syngamy or syngamy. Okay. Uh, so here the fusion is called as syngamy. Results in, so it results in formation of zygote. Formation of zygote. Right. Right, this completes about the fertilization. So let us go for the next one. We'll go for the next one, development. So one important point you have to remember that once the sperm enter into the perivitelline space, that induces the completion of the second meiotic division of secondary oocyte. Okay, so in the once the second meiotic division is formed, it forms the second polar body and also wootid or ovum. Right, that point you have to remember. Right. So we'll go for the next one. Next topic is development. So in that we are having some definitions. The first one is the human embryology. Human embryology means it is the study of development of embryo up to 8th week. The study of development of embryo up to 8th week is called as embryology. Then what is the fetus? Fetus means growing baby from 9th week to the birth. The growing baby from 9th week till birth is called as fetus. Then cleavages. Cleavages occurs in the fallopian tube. So what are cleavages means? Series of cell divisions. So if you see that the series of cell divisions that starts from zygote. So this one is the fertilized egg means zygote. First the zygote divides into two cells. The two cells divides into four cells. Four cells divides into eight. Eight divides into 16 cellular stage. Okay. Then if you see here, after at the 16 cellular stage, we call that one as, that means as morula. 8 to 16 cellular stage is called as morula. Right. 8 to 16 cellular stage is called as morula. We call this one as morula. Okay. Then after morula it develops into blastocyst. Let us see. All the cleavages are mitotic. All the cleavages are mitotic. Then the cells are called as blastomeres. Cells are called as blastomeres. Then what is the size of blastomeres? If you observe the size of blastomeres gradually decreases. Okay, the size is decreasing gradually. Okay. Then egg of human is called as alecithal. Alecithal means absence of yolk, or it is called as microlecithal. Microlecithal means very negligible amount of yolk material present. We call that one as microlecithal, and egg is not having any shell. So we call that one as non-cleidoic egg. So as the egg is alecithal, the cleavages are holoblastic. Holo means complete, blastic means dividing. So this is the egg. Holoplastic means it divides completely into two equal or unequal halves. Okay. Next one, let us see. The next thing is about morula and blastocyst we'll learn. So what is morula? Right. If you see the morula, development of morula occurs in fallopian tube. This is a very important neat question. Where does the morula develops? Development of morula occurs in the fallopian tube. Okay. So generally it looks like mulberry. So we call this one morula also as mulberry like stage. We call this one as mulberry like stage. Then it is the solid ball of cells. So morula is solid ball of cells. Then how many cells are present in morula? Number of cells if we take 8 to 16 cells. So 8 to 16 cellulose stage is called as morula. Okay. Then the morula, if you see the morula, so there is the morula is having outer layer of cells and also inner layer of cells. Okay. The outer layer of cells is having different name. Right. So the outer layer of cells is called as trophoblast cells. The outer layer of cells are called as trophoblast cells. Okay. The inner layer of cells is called as inner cell mass. In morula, we are having two layers of cells. Outer layer is called as trophoblast. Inner layer is called as inner cell mass. Then what does the trophoblast gives rise? The trophoblast develops into or gives rise to extra embryonic ectoderm. Then what about the inner cell mass? Inner cell mass gives rise to embryo proper. Rise to embryo proper. Or it develops into embryo proper plus some fetal membranes. Okay, it is not there in the NCERT, even though you have to learn some fetal membranes. Right, we go for the next one, blastocyst. So this is the another stage. So blastocyst is cyst-like stage. Is the cyst-like. So this is the blastocyst diagram. So blastocyst is at cyst-like stage. Then in the blastocyst we can see cavity. Cavity is formed between inner cell mass and trophoblast cells. Cavity is found between the inner cell mass and trophoblast. Formation of cavity is called cavitation. Formation of cavity is called as cavitation. Then cavity is called as blastocele. You can see everything in the diagram. Cavity is called as blastocele. Okay. Now this blastocyst is found in uterus. So what is happening? The morula develops into blastocyst, and the stage that drops from fallopian tubes to uterus is called as blastocyst. That means the blastocyst is found in uterus, means it is not formed in the fallopian tube. Development occurs in the fallopian tube and slowly drops into the uterus. So development of blastocele begins in the fallopian tubes, and by the time it comes into the uterus it is completed. Right, this completes about the formation of blastocyst. And next one we have implantation and also embryonic pregnancy and embryonic development. We'll see that one in the next class. Okay, thank you very much. Have a nice day.